Now, before you actually go ahead and use MT32 for PCEHR access, there's a few things the clinic needs. They need to have their certificates for their location certificate, which is also their claiming certificate that they use for claiming on Medicare, and they need their NASH certificate for the HPIO. Now, they come on two separate CDs, and just very roughly the CDs look like so. For the NASH certificate, it's still identified by the RA number, and it has the word NASH on there, and their regular location certificate CD. The reason why I go through this is because when you do the installations, the names of the files that have to be installed are identical for both certificates, and this is why you really don't want to be confused. To install the certificates, you use our certificate manager, which looks like this. On my test machine, there are many certificates that already exist, but I will go through the steps anyway. Now, first of all, we'll install the certificate for the HI service. So file name, of course, is standard, but you've got to go and find it. So what you do is you go and find the CD, and which in this case I've copied onto the machine, and under certificates, now this is my location certificate. The file you're looking for is fac_sign.p12. Now that brings up the file. Before you go any further, you must also select the location that it's going to go in. So in this case, main database, location M, and enter your password, which Medicare will have sent you. The reason for this is because the application will install the certificate in the correct store on the machine, but it will also include some information in the database so that when we need to use it, we can actually locate the correct certificate. Because as you can see, there's lots of certificates here, and we've got to be able to pick the right one to send. Then we just say import. You can verify that it is the one you want, so it gives you some of the information, and okay, now it's done. Okay, that was the HI service. Now we go through the same procedure again, back to the certificates. Now the HPIO certificate in my case is this one. So we open that up, and you notice the file name is identical. Okay, now one important thing, make sure that the selection changes, because this one is for the PCEHR. If you don't change that, you will just overwrite the one that you've just done, and things will not work. Import, yes, done. One thing to keep in mind, if things happen to go wrong and for some reason it doesn't work because some paperwork was missing and you cannot establish the connection with the PCEHR when you're testing it, when you contact Medicare, they will most likely ask you for the CN number, which is actually your HIPPO number, which is this one here. and they will, if it's a communications problem, they will also ask you for the communications log. Now, where do you find that? If we open this up, by default, the CDA bridge, which holds this information, is installed in Program Files, Medtech Global Limited, MTX Server. Then the MTX directory logs is where you will find the logs, and as you can see, there's a lot of logs there. Now, the log they're looking for is this one, HI request and response. It'll have the date that it was written on, and you may find that it'll be number 1, number 2, number 3. They're limited to not be larger than 10 megabytes per file. So if you've got a lot of activity, you'll have a lot of logs. So the logs, that's the one that Medicare will be looking for, because it has the information that was sent to them and the response. If Medtech asks you for logs, because you're having a problem, we will be looking for that one, this one, so the HTTP log, and the web server log. So again, what you'd then just to zip them up, the latest ones for the date where you're having the problems. So date 2013, 6th, 20th. You zip them up and send them to us. Now, 2 other things that your IT people, when installing the software, will have done for you, hopefully, is under Medtech32, which in my case is installed here. If they go to the bin directory, you will find the Medtech32 INI file. Now, it's important, usually down near the bottom, there's this section here, headed NETA. If that PCEHR does not say yes, if that says no, then none of the PCEHR stuff will actually work. Same thing with the IHI and the HPI services. They must all be set to yes. Now, the other thing, if we go back to where the CDA bridge is installed, there is also the config file, which is best opened with Notepad. So there's a couple of things in there that, again, they will have been adjusted at install time automatically. This is the URL where the HI service is connected to, and that should be a 3 and a P. Right. Down at the bottom further, there's this one, which should say services, and for this one you also need to specify that it's HTTPS. Nothing else in this file actually really needs to be changed. Eventually, if you want to use a logo in your CDA documents, that can be done. What happens in here is you specify where the actual logo file is. It needs to be a PNG, and this needs to be set to true. Then the software will automatically embed this logo in your CDA documents in the top right hand corner. but your IT person will install that and fix those things up for you. After all those things are done, you should be up and running.